The total for the Bengals this year, Skinny, 10.5. What do you think about 10.5 for the Bengals?
So it went down. I thought it was 11.5 at one point. It might have gone down. So
I think it was at 11.5 during the summer.
Okay. And maybe the Burrow thing is what led to a win less, perhaps. I would take the over then. I ended up picking 11-6 for my final record. And I even wrote it when I wrote the analysis to why I picked it the way I do. I picked it into 3 categories. I don't do game by game. I think that's hard to do because you just don't know. I get people doing it and why they do. We all do things differently. I don't mind it, but it's just it's hard in my opinion to do game by game. So I do what I call likely wins, likely losses, and then what I call swing games.
Yeah, I think you always do. They'll win 2 games, they'll lose 2 games, and here's 15 swing games.
Yeah, correct. No, I went 7, 3, and 7 so I had 7 swing games. Okay. So the 7, and I even wrote, and it's funny because I look back I think almost every year I've done this. I know the last 3 or 4 years for sure. There's always been one likely win that turns into a loss. And for me last year, I had them beating Pittsburgh in the opener as a likely win. That turned into a loss. And then there's always one likely loss that becomes a win. Last year, I had them losing at Tampa Bay, and that turned into a win. Last year, they went in. I had 9 swing games last year. One of those was the Bills game that got canceled. So in the other 8, they ended up going 6-2 in swing games. I got them going 4-3, but I made a case for them going 5-2 because 3 of the swing games are at home. Another of the swing games is at Tennessee, where they've won. They've kind of owned Tennessee at Tennessee of late, and they've won 3 in a row in the series with them. So they kind of have their number a little bit. So I could be talked into 12 wins. I don't see anything less than 11, barring crazy injury stuff. So if it's 10.5, I have to go over.
I'm with you on the over number, and I actually have them at 12-5. So I'm pretty similar to you in terms of what I'm seeing. And I agree that it's hard for me to get under that 10.5 number, quite honestly, when I look at the way the schedule sets up. So you said, how many wins did you have automatic? 7?
I had 7 automatic.
Likely,
I'm trying to look it up right now.
Okay, so let me guess. Rams, Titans, Cardinals, Texans, and Colts are definites, right?
Hang on a second. I'm gonna find the story so I can do it for sure. I do this stuff, and then I don't know off the top of my head how I do things. All right, here we go. Scroll to it. This is good podcast materials.
Yeah, has it been posted already at local12.com?
It has been. I got it right here. All right, so do the ones you said you thought were likely wins again that I picked.
All right, so I would say, looking at the schedule, Rams, Titans, Cardinals, Texans, and Colts are 5 of the 7. And then who did you throw in there? Seahawks at home?
No, I didn't. That's one of my swing games. So here's the ones. I got Rams at Arizona, Houston, Pittsburgh at home, Indy, Minnesota, and Cleveland at home were my 7. I did not have the Titans. The Titans are one of my swing games, but that's one of the ones where I have them going 4-3 in swing games, and that's when I could be talked into going, that's probably a 5th win out of the swing games for me. You want to guess the 3 likely losses?
The losses are at 49ers.
Yep.
At Chiefs.
Yep.
And one of the AFC North games, or
at Baltimore. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So then the swing games are this game in the opener, the Baltimore game at home. So right off the bat, in my category, you're playing 2 swing games right out of the gate.
Yeah,
that can change this a lot.
I agree with completely. I mean, those are 2 huge games to start the season.
The Tennessee game just because it's on the road and they're a decent enough team, but again, like I said, I could easily be talked into saying that's a win because they've won lately. Seattle at home, Buffalo at home, at Jacksonville, and at Pittsburgh are all my swing games.
Okay.
So
yeah, I mean, the at the Titans game is one I feel like they should win, but it is on the road, so I get where.
Yeah, that's probably the only reason I did it.
Yeah.
So I could easily be talked into 12 wins.
Yeah, I mean, look, this team won 12 games last year without getting to play the Buffalo game, and after the start that they had.
Yeah, right. No,
so
you're right.
I mean, I feel like they are a better team this year. I feel like the schedule actually, in some ways, sets up better for them and more even for them than it did last year. Of course, last year we were all worried about the end of the schedule, and they ran right through it with no problem at all. So shows you what we know. But yeah, I mean, 12-5 feels good to me. I definitely like the over 10.5. I mean, 11-12 feels pretty good. I think this is actually the first year in a long time that I'll play a Bengals total number.